Hello everyone. In our heat transfer lecture series, we are going to study a new chapter as numerical methods in heat conduction. We have mostly considered relatively simple heat conduction problems involving simple geometries with simple boundary conditions because only such simple problems can be solved analytically. But many problems encountered in practice involve complicated geometries with complex boundary conditions or variable properties and cannot be solved analytically. In such cases, sufficiently accurate approximate solutions can be obtained by computers using a numerical methods. Why numerical methods? So here we will see what is the importance to use a numerical methods. We solve various heat conduction problems in various geometries in a systematic but highly mathematical manner. Okay. So, which are these steps? So, there are the three steps. The first one is deriving the governing differential equation by performing an energy balance on a differential volume element. If we have given any problem, then we have applied the generalized heat conduction equation and the energy balance for this problem, for this volume differential volume element. After that, we will express the boundary conditions in the proper mathematical form. And to solve this differential equation, we need to find out some boundary conditions, and these boundary conditions will be applied this the governing equation. So these governing equations are generalized heat conduction equations in Cartesian coordinate system, in polar coordinate system, or spherical coordinate system. Then the solving the differential equation and applying the boundary condition to determine the integration constant. Then when you solve this daily differential equations, and if you are getting a simplified form of this differential equation, then we apply the boundary condition, and after applying the boundary condition, we are getting some constant, integrating constant, and we will find out the values of these integrating constants. Then substituting these values into the equation, we are getting a actual solution for this problem. So for that, we have given an example of a sphere here. Okay. So to find out the heat transfer through a sphere, we will use a generalized heat conduction equation in spherical coordinate system. If you see here, you will see the heat transfer in only one direction, that is a radial direction. So for that, we have given a generalized heat conduction equation for the sphere when we are using a heat generation into the sphere as a E dot, and thermal conductivity of sphere material we are considering as a K. Okay. So what is the equation? We have 1 upon r square d by dr in bracket r square dt by dr plus E dot divided by K is equal to 0. So this is our generalized heat conduction equation or differential equation. Now we need to apply the boundary conditions. So to find out the boundary condition, we have seen here the problem is in one direction. The heat transfer we have it getting in only one direction. So that's why we will substitute the boundary condition in terms of radius. When you substitute radius as r is equal to 0, that means at the center, what is the temperature difference according to the radius? It is a 0. When we substitute r is equal to r0, that means outer radius of the sphere. So at that time, temperature we are getting, temperature at r is equal to 0 is equal to T1. That means we have defined here temperature of a surface of a sphere is a T1. After applying this boundary condition into this generalized heat conduction and solving this equation, we are getting the temperature at radius r is equal to T1 plus E dot divided by 6k in bracket r square minus r square. That means if you substitute value of r in between the given limits, then we will find out the temperature at particular radius by using this equation. Okay. After finding these temperatures, then by using a Fourier law of heat conduction, we can find out the rate heat transfer through that sphere in a radial direction. So Q dot R is equal to minus K dt by dr. So and this is equal to 4 pi r cube energy generation into the sphere divided by 3. So that means this is an analytical solution of a problem requires solving the governing differential equation and applying the boundary condition. So this is the example of this analytical methods. So so first one, what is the necessary to use the numerical methods? This is a simple to use the analytical method. Then what is the necessity to use the numerical methods? The first one is the limitations. Limitations of the analytical solution. So analytical solution methods are limited to highly simplified problems in simple geometries. That means we can use this solution for a simple geometric concept, just like a plane wall, a cylinder, and a sphere. The geometry must be such that its entire surface can be described mathematically in a coordinate system by setting the variables equal to constant. That means the dimension of the geometry we can define by using a coordinate system. So just like in a plane wall, all the dimensions we can return in terms of x, y, and z. And if you consider about the example of this cylinder, we can find out the dimensions in terms of radius and the height of the cylinder. So this is one of the limitation. Then that is it is must be fit to a coordinate system perfectly with nothing sticking out or in. Even in simple geometries, heat transfer problems cannot be solved analytically if the thermal conditions are not sufficiently simple. So this is another limitation. So if you consider that if there is some thermal conditions are going to change for a simple geometry, then it is difficult to solve this problem by using analytical method. Okay. So for that we have given an example here of a long cylinder which has thermal conductivity constant. So we will assume that thermal conductivity is constant and surrounding conditions as there is no radiation heat transfer. Surrounding temperature is also a constant. So T infinity is constant. Then heat transfer coefficient of the cylinder and the surrounding medium is also constant. So that means if we use these assumptions, then we can solve this the heat transfer conditions for this long cylinder. Okay, so these are the limitations of the analytical method. Now for the better model. When attempting to get an analytical solution to a physical problem, there is always a tendency to oversimplify the problem to make the mathematical model sufficiently simple to warrant an analytical solution. So for that, if we have given an example, that means if you have given a actual oval shape body, then to solve this heat transfer for this oval shape body, we will simplify this body in terms of a sphere, and we will use an analytical solution for this sphere condition and find out the solution. Therefore, it is common practice to ignore any effect that cause mathematical complication such as non-linearities in a differential equations or boundary conditions. Non-linearities such as temperature dependence of the thermal conductivity and the radiation boundary condition. That means if there is a radiation heat transfer from the sphere is available, and if thermal conductivity of the material is depending or changing, or there is a variation in thermal conductivity according to temperature. So this is not we are going to take as assumption into the analytical method. A mathematical model intended for a numerical solution is likely to represent the actual problem better. Okay. So now about the numerical concept. In the numerical concept, what we are going to do? So an oval shaped actual body, we are taking a realistic body into the numerical methods. We will divide this numerical body into number of small parts, and then we apply the numerical methods to solve this problem. Then what we are getting? We are getting a solution. That solution is approximate numerical solution for this model, but this solution is a accurate solution of a actual problem. But if you consider analytical method, we are going to solve the problem as considering as sphere, but solution of this one is not perfect one for this actual model. Okay, the numerical solution of engineering problems has now become the norm rather than the exception, even when analytical solutions are available. So that means analytical solutions are also available, but we are following the numerical methods to solve this realistic problems. Then flexibility. So engineering problems often require extensive parametric studies to understand the influence of some variables on the solution in order to choose the right set of variables and to answer some what if question. What will happen in the engineering problems? First, we have to find out the parametric conditions. What are the parameters we require? And if we were to solve this equation, solve these problems, then many times we have to ask the question, what if or what is going to happen? So if these parameters are going to change, then what will happen? We have to solve this problem in iterative with a number of iterations, and this is an iterative process that is extremely tedious and time consuming if done by hand. That means parameters of a particular problem is are going to change, then to solve this problem is very much difficult one. Computers and numerical methods are ideally suited for such calculations, and a wide range of related problems can be solved by minor modifications in code or input variables. Then, for such a problem, what will happen if parameters are going to change? Then we can solve this problem by using a computers or numerical methods by changing a small code into the or input the variables. Today, it is almost unthinkable to perform any significant optimization studies in engineering without the power and flexibility of computers and numerical methods. So now this is a common thing. We can solve this engineering problems by using computers and numerical methods. So that means this is the flexibility of numerical methods. If we even small change into the parameters of the particular problem, we can solve this problem by using numerical methods. Now what the complications? Some problems can be solved analytically, but the solution procedure is so complex and the resulting solution expression so complicated that it is not worth of all that effort. So some of the problems you can solve by using analytical concepts, but solutions we are getting is not a simple one. It is a difficult one. And to solve by using this one, it is very tedious to actual perform. With the exception of steady one-dimensional or transient lump system problems, all heat conduction problems result in partial differential equations. So many of the problems to solve this problem, engineering heat transfer problems, we will use the generalized heat conduction equations, and these generalized heat conduction equations are in the form of partial derivatives. And to solve this partial derivatives, it is very much difficult. Solving such equations usually requires mathematical sophistication beyond that acquired at the undergraduate level. So this is very difficult to understand at the undergraduate level. Such as these solutions we are using as orthogonality, eigenvalues, Fourier and Laplace transform, Bessel and Lagrange functions, or infinite series. So by using this one, we are going to solve these problems. In such cases, the evaluation of a solution, which often involves double or triple summations of infinite series at a specified point, is a challenge in the itself. So some of the times it is very complicated to solve the problem by using a analytical solution. So we have given the example app here to find out the temperature of a long cylinder at a particular radius. Then we have written the analytical solution is this one, and this is very difficult to solve to find out the temperature. So this is the complication of the analytical method. Now human nature. So analytical solutions are necessary because insight to the physical phenomena and engineering wisdom is gained primarily through the analysis. By using analysis, primarily we will find out the solution for the particular problem, and for that we must necessary the analytical solutions. The field that engineers develop during the analysis of simple but fundamental problems serves an invaluable tool when interpreting a huge pile of result obtained from a computer when solving a complex problem. Okay, so to solve this complex problem, first we need to solve a simple problem by using analytical methods. A simple analysis by hand for a limiting case can be used to check if the results are in the proper range. So analytical methods we can use to find out a solution of a numerical methods which is available in our limit or not. Okay. The ready availability of high-powered computers with sophisticated software packages has made numerical solution the norm rather than the exception. So that means now we are getting number of softwares which are used to find out the solution for a particular problem. And this is now a habit of a human to solve this problem by using a computer and numerical methods. Thank you.